Welcome to Bearish. We're not financial professionals, and this is not financial investment advice. Enjoy the episode.
Bond yields are
skyrocketing. That's actually what I wanted to talk about. These past 2 weeks, they've been rising, and the market has. I mean, the Dow hasn't really, but the Nasdaq really took a hit. But today they reached all-time highs and moved up their BPS, base point. I forgot exactly what it is.
What reached all-time highs?
I saw an article that said bond yields, the 10-year, reached or not all-time highs, highs since whatever it was, in March or whatever.
Yeah, it's at 1.63%.
Yeah, it's been the highest since I think it was March, but the Nasdaq didn't really take a hit like it did in the past couple of weeks, at all.
No, because I think that's because of the stimulus. I think people are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's starting. That was my point. It's starting to kind of not have as much of, or today at least didn't have as much an effect as it has.
I read an article that if the bond yield reaches 2%, the Nasdaq will drop 20%.
Was it at 1.6?
It's at 1.6.
But it moves really slow. It does move.
Yeah.
Not
slow.
in the past week or two. It hasn't.
Yeah, not this week. It hasn't.
Well, I thought it went from below 1 to 1.6 in the past 2 or 3 months.
Well, this month or
most of that move has happened in this past 2 weeks, to be honest, or
so it moves pretty fast.
So
but
it does move.
I don't think it moves 0.1 is the biggest that it moves, or point.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it made this move, because the bond auction was the other day, and it was met with strong demand, meaning people bought the bond, which drove down the yield. So I'm not really sure why it jumped like it did today. I was not expecting that at all. I literally just, that article I wrote, are we entering a fresh bull market?
Yeah.
I put stimulus coming out, I put inflation worries, and I put the bond yields calming. But the fact that that completely took me off guard, that I woke up and it was at 1.63%.
Yeah.
But I did read an article that said if it reaches 2%, you don't be surprised if the Nasdaq, goes into a correction down 20%.
Yeah, but it didn't move as much today. So I think these stimulus, because I said the stimulus could reach this weekend.
Yeah. Who's getting it? Not I.
Yeah, no, I'm still an independent or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
We're still
dependent.
Claimed.
You're dependent,
We're still
so you don't get it.
I don't know what I am. Kind of
Your
lost.
parents still take care of you, so you're a dependent.
We're still some baby ass
Shout
bitches.
Shout out, mom, dad.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
Okay, so
that was basically what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the bonds, and it didn't even do that much. But yeah.
Well, what did the Nasdaq finish down? 80?
100 points. Where in the past it's been 400. Consistent 400 for 2 weeks.
I think if the stimulus wasn't coming out, you would have saw another big drop.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We still haven't lined up the audio.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, you can find a way.
I'll figure it out.
I don't really know what to do about that. We're not having that conversation again. It's just not happening.
What do you want to talk about, Mike? Do you want to go over what I went over last night with you?
Maybe not in depth, but hopefully
I was
we
kind
can
of thinking of the explanation of what has been happening from growth to value. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can sprinkle in some
because that really just
examples
explains
of what you told me.
What's been happening the past month.
Yeah.
So you don't want me to talk about Mr. Town right here?
Is that
I didn't say that.
Is that your profile picture?
Yeah, with the cowboy hat on.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
I was wondering who all these people were.
Yeah, I didn't know who Young Bear was.
And Young Bull.
It's me.
Why did
it's
you
because
change
Dylan's Young Bull and I'm Young Bear.
Oh, I was like, who is Young Bear and why is he talking a lot in the chats?
Who is Young
That's
Money?
Too many young people.
Everyone just young.
Owen has no mods.
That's all.
Okay, so Max, start us off with the value thing.
No, that's what you are better explaining that than I am. By
I'll
far.
Start us off with the value thing.
No, you.
That you were the one who basically explained it to me when we were talking a week ago or so.
Yeah, well,
start off with an explanation of what's happening right now in the market.
Well, yeah, it does.
This episode will be brought to you by Jared.
Basically.
Solely.
It does kind of deal with the bond yields. Because, Mike, do you remember when I went over with you last night how I changed the rate of return? The prices got inflated and more inflated, and the buy-in prices got higher and higher.
Yeah.
Do you remember
so
that?
For those of you who don't know, Jared and I did a little bit of a he did a little bit of a crash course for me last night on how to value a company, and this is what he's referring to when he talks about what he showed me. But yes, I do remember that. As you change the rate of return that you want from a stock, like the price just inflates like hell.
Right. Yeah. So and it's not just the bonds, it's inflation. So with the bonds increasing, it's starting to compete with stocks, and it's mainly tech stocks because they were the ones that were so inflated because when the interest rates were cut, they were allowed to borrow money at a very low cost to put into their business to grow and grow really fast. So that's why you see all these tech stocks with massive valuations.
Those are the growth ones, correct?
Those are the growth stocks, yeah. Because, I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed no matter what price you pay, you're going to beat the 0.3% the 10-year bond was cut to. You know what I mean?
Right. It's basically, I don't know if we've explained this before. I feel like we have.
Essentially, the thing to remember is that when people are making this decision, they're asking, where can I put my money that will make me the most money? Yeah. And at the moment, it's, I think, shifting towards bonds because the rate of return is increasing.
No, not bonds. It won't be shifting.
Not bonds.
It's not bonds. It's shifting to different stocks. But
okay.
Yeah. So
right. That's why the NASDAQ has been dropping, because these tech companies have been valued so high and have been making pretty decent returns. And these bond yields that are now rising are making people shift their money into different stocks. And a lot of people are just leaving the tech sector at massive amounts of money, moving out of it and into what are called like value stocks. That's why the Dow has been rising.
Yeah, I texted this in the group chat yesterday. I was like, these investors know the tech valuations are stupid, and that's why they're getting out of them. Right. Like, there's no chance. Yeah. I know you like this company, Max, but there's no chance an unprofitable Roku should be $400.
Well, yeah.
Like, there's just no chance.
No, I would agree, because it started at like 117, the only reason that it also did shoot that high is because of the pandemic too. It was a lot of streaming and blah blah blah. That's why I believe that one's performing very, very well, more than it's actually the company is actually giving, its investors.
Yeah. So another reason that you're seeing this shift or like rotation, if you will, is because of inflation. We know that there's going to be heavy inflation. Right now, I think it's at 1.7%, and a lot of people believe it's going to reach 2.8 to 3% this year, which is pretty. I mean, that's back to its historical average, so that's pretty hefty.
Crash course on inflation, please.
Yeah, well, inflation's. I mean, it's good. The Fed likes 1 to 2%, maybe a little higher, because it allows businesses to increase their prices, thus making more money. But if it gets,
what is it?
What's inflation?
What is it?
It's bad.
Basically, your dollar losing value.
Yeah.
Like your single dollar buys less and less, because the more money that's being
rise.
Yeah, prices rise and money's being printed. So your buying power of $1 yesterday was more than it is today, basically.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
So with inflation, you're not gonna want to leave your money in a savings account, because you're guaranteed to be fucked.
Right.
You're
these
guaranteed
bond yields,
to lose money.
The bond yields, the rate of return on the bonds basically don't beat inflation. So say they're at 1.6 right now, but inflation is 2%. You leave it in there for a year, and you're basically you're literally losing money.
Yeah, but I think that's also what's worrying people, because with inflation, that shows you the economy is recovering, and the Fed will not want the economy to overheat, so they will increase interest rates, which will increase bond yields. So it's all compacted together in this weird way. But what you want to be in is stocks, because with the inflation at, say it goes to 3%, you have to make more than that to make money, for your money to make money, for your money to grow.
It requires a higher rate of return. to
right,
even,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like a 7% gain in a year is really cut down to 4, you know?
Yes. So these
Right.
tech stocks, people are like, shit, I don't know if I can get that over the long term, over the next year.
Because they're already so valued high.
They're so high, yeah. So now you're seeing a move into value, or what they're called cyclical stocks. They do better when the economy does good. They do bad when the economy is bad, right? This is automobiles, airlines, restaurants.
Yeah, airlines have done very
banks,
well recently.
All that stuff, because they're not as expensive as these tech stocks. So there's more value in them.
Right, and this is why you've seen the NASDAQ. If you look at a comparison graph between the NASDAQ and the Dow in the past probably month, you see the NASDAQ, which is filled with tech stocks, taking a really big dive, while the Dow, I remember looking at it, the Dow would be up like 500 points versus the NASDAQ being down 400. People are switching their money from these valued tech stocks that are already overvalued, that have made a lot of money in the past, but now with everything changing, there's more potential gains in these growth stocks, such as that are filling the Dow. So basically, it's just a movement of money into a different sector is what has been occurring this past month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I think there's still some really, really good tech stocks that just happen to be in that sector that are still undervalued, but just because they're in that sector, they're getting slaughtered. Like, I'm a really big advocate of NEO, but I think they were at 55, almost 60 less than 2 weeks ago, and since then they've been knocked down to in the 30s at some point. I think they're back up to 44.
I feel the same way.
Which is still so undervalued to me, but just because they're in that sector, they're just getting slaughtered.
I feel the same way with eBay. eBay, it's such a good company.
Bought 10 shares today.
Fuck yes, Mike. Yes. Such a good company, man. They have a competitive advantage. They do. But we'll get in that another episode or even later. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
With what?
Oh, wait. Were one of you guys humming? Or was that music in the background?
It was a car.
That's Atlanta. You're just hearing Atlanta.
That's on me.
God.
Carry on.
I was about to look around my room like, what's going on? Jim Cramer came out with a tweet basically saying like a lot of these what has been happening with stimulus and a lot of meme stocks have gotten a lot of attention, and with those meme stocks, a lot of tech stocks have gotten attention. And he had a tweet something along the lines of what is happening right now is basically flushing out all of these non-educated investors that have been in it the past couple of months, just because it's like, oh, gambling, free money, like this is fun.
Yeah.
Like that's the stonks people, you know, that's the people who are just throwing this money in there for fun. And he was like, it's sad, but it's kind of true that this market kind of not correction, but like switching of gears has knocked or will knock a lot of these guys out who have seen ridiculous gains, but probably were heavily in tech stocks and tech stocks only, or meme stocks that have just basically not crashed, but taken really big hits in the past month or so. And that will basically kind of clean these guys out. But the stimulus check will just make it happen again. As long as they don't hold the bag and they just take their profits and go. But that's what he's saying. A lot of them didn't. You know what I'm saying? They're not educated enough. And then what they did is they don't understand I know shit's hitting the fan, but I'm going to hold and wait it out or buy more. And a lot of them just, had it at the top and sold at the bottom. It's basically what Jim was saying.
All they know is green.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they saw red and panicked. They don't know they don't know how to handle it. And so Jim Cramer is like, it's sad but true. Like this is what's happening right now. A lot of these guys are just getting tossed out because they're not actually, seasoned veteran investors or whatever. They're just kind of in it because it's been fun lately.
Yeah, they don't.
Not like Jared.
Follow Bearish for more investing advice.
Hey, we don't give investing advice, remember?
This is investing advice.
He said, remember?
Remember?
Listen to us.
This is a straight contradiction of the disclaimer we have at the beginning of the
video.
I was
I
going to say GME 2.0 because, that was awesome.
Oh, I got in that, by the way.
Did you make money,
well
Max?
done.
I'm up like $5. I'm up. I was like, bro, no, dude, it's been going on for so long that it's like, and stimulus checks are coming out. It's like, just
what if they just pump GME and nothing else?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Everything else trades sideways and GME's at 600.
It's just popping randomly, and I feel like I'm just gonna be shit out of luck if I'm the last one on the boat and it'll never pop again. But I heard
you buy shares?
Yeah. I only had like $100 in buying power, so I just bought a fractional. But
You have to buy a fractional fucking share for GameStop. Just
Right,
think
I
about
know.
what you just said. Think about what you just said.
dude,
You gotta buy 2 back in.
Hey, if you look at like the candlesticks
2
on
weeks
like
ago.
Thinkorswim or something like that, the wicks are so damn long because they just shoot up and then just come right back down and then kind of consolidate in the middle. It's like doesn't even make any sense.
The other
But
day it lost 50% in like 25 minutes.
oh, that's when I bought it. You sent that picture and I went straight in. I went straight over and I was like, buy. But to be honest, they what they got bashed for is when it did go really high, they didn't sell shares to
Which is
basically
stupid. So dumb.
And what that does is it raises capital for the business. And I heard that they hired new management. And like I don't know if it was like CEO. I don't know. They hired new bigwigs, and they've been in talks of not like actually, but I don't think they've been in talks of literally selling more shares, but it's been circulating, and so that's what the hype around this has been in the past like 2 weeks. So I was like, I'll get in.
I would sell so many shares. If
Oh
I was
my
GameStop.
god, yeah. Well,
I would dilute the fuck out of
okay,
it.
he didn't say selling new shares. He said switching like into the more electronic versus brick and mortar.
No, but they should. They should sell shares.
Well, yeah, that's
They
what I'm
should
saying. But
introduce shares,
to
yeah.
do that would mean raising capital, which, if he was smart, would mean sell shares. That's why I got in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if this guy is talking about the switch to electronic rather than brick and mortar, then he knows he needs to raise money. Then he knows by raising money, not the only way, the easiest way to do it is to sell shares of a completely inflated stock.
Yeah, but would that go through the primary market again? Would they have to go through the investment banks, or would they just sell them? Yeah, that's the thing.
Fuck if I know.
No,
that's what I was
investment
wondering
bank
is why
buy
would
that.
any of the banks? Yeah, exactly. Why would they be like, oh, you're over 500% of what?
I don't know.
Worth?
I think a bank can make a quick buck on that. Because think about the stimulus checks coming out, all the idiots in the market, and they're like, yeah, GameStop's now worth $40 again. Buy. And they're, you know.
I wish I knew how that worked. I wish I knew if they had to go through the investment banks and all that, or because if they just sold it to
If it was investors,
to,
that would be a
people,
great
it'd be
idea.
perfect.
That thing would hit $1,000 in about a day. You know what I'm saying? Like people
They'd
would
raise
buy
so
it.
much money.
Oh
They'd
my
raise so
God.
much money. It's
Yeah, they would.
I went on a tangent just now, trying to think of like ways that GameStop might actually survive and become a profitable company. What if they changed their model to like Airbnb for games? So let's say you bought a game and then you'd rent it out to a friend for like $1 or something, or like $1 a day. And then that would be their business model. That sounds like it could be work.
But how would they
Maybe.
make money?
I think they have something like that
I thought
already.
so, but I
Like I think it's
Gamefly?
called not
Gamefly?
GameStop, but there's Gamefly.
But I don't know if it's
where you like
digital
rent the
though.
games and then.
But I don't know. No. I mean like per person. Like if I buy a game for $50 and then I rent it out, that's probably not. No, that they'd get mad about that because you don't want the one person to make money. You want the game
That would
creator
be
to make money.
the owners of the game. Yeah, the owners of the game wouldn't do that, like the developers.
Probably a lot
Probably
of
not.
liability stuff, breaking.
There's
it,
no
blah,
way.
blah, blah.
Maybe it was just an
Yeah.
idea.
But yeah, GameFly does do that, don't they? They rent out games and then you
I
send.
don't know
them
if
back
it's digital though. It's physical games.
But yeah, that's a good point.
I was
Yeah, that's a
talking
good point.
digitally.
Oh well, what they're doing now, Mike. Me and Max semi got into it on PlayStation, and I know
bullshit.
Nintendo already has one. But they run games on their own server now, so you don't even have to get a physical disc or
It's like
download it. You just
it's
buy
like
a
Stadia.
subscription.
Yeah.
Google Stadia.
But
Yeah,
they need
exactly.
to figure it out if it's going to be a
Exactly.
real thing
Exactly.
because
It's the internet. It's the latency. Like if you can figure out latency and making sure that you can play games at 60 FPS
Exactly.
over an internet connection, then it'll work. But until you can have that sort of internet, it's not going to work very well for people who have like low bandwidth internet.
Well,
It works
wouldn't
great
even-
for people who have like
Yeah.
gigabit and like really, really nice internet though.
it wasn't even that. It was we tried to play zombies and I bought a game mode type thing, and it wouldn't let me play the damn game mode. That's a different story though. Pissed me off. We couldn't even play it.
It was like, oh, you have this content,
said,
and then we'd go, okay, well then let us download it, and it was like, you can't download it right now.
It just said you're not allowed to play that, but you do have it. Okay, turn off the PS4. It's dumb. That was a totally different story.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Pissed me off.
Jared, go ahead.
What were we talking about?
GameStop selling
2.0.
shares if they were smart.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. They should have fucking done it already.
Right? And the fact that they haven't done it.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, I forgot.
we talked about how the shift is happening.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so do you guys remember in that episode where we just went at each other's heads and gave the audience no valuable information at all?
Heads? You mean throats? We were ripping each other.
Beginning of this one?
Yeah, so, Max, I texted you this the other day, and
you suck.
So do you guys remember
my video
when
just stopped, but it's going again.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You probably ran out of storage.
I'm on 3%.
Oh no.
Baby.
Keep going. But I'm recording another one, so freak me.
Do you remember when I texted you about how I said the way I invest, I wait for an event to happen?
Oh, yes.
And you guys took it as you need the market to crash in order to buy. And that's not
No, this made sense, actually. I retract my statement from the earlier episodes. I understand this.
So I want to explain it to you guys, Logan and Mike. So, and I didn't do a very good job with explaining. Yeah, so...
Go ahead.
Blooper reel.
Yeah, so with the... this...
That's good. Oh, I see what you mean. That's actually awesome. You know what? That does make sense.
So, you know what? That makes total sense, Jared. Thank you for explaining that.
All right, Carrot. Next topic.
We'll see you next week. Next Thursday,
real.
Friday, actually.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode.
Provide value content of Jared going.
If I stitch together all the clips
Mike,
of Jared,
fuck you, dude. I'm trying to talk.
You tried to talk a few minutes ago, bro.
look at how that turned out, dude.
All right.
Did you turn your gain on, Mike? Hold on, time out, because you're sounding. You sound like you're right here. You know what I'm saying? Talk.
Okay.
Does he sound louder?
It's because he's really close.
I'm really close, but I'm like speaking this way. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
I also just
maybe
yelled.
it's something on mine. Everyone sounds kind of funny. All right, go, Jared.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that episode I was talking about you need to wait for the market or this stock to like hit a certain price before you buy in. And you guys took it as, because I remember Logan fucking pissed me off. He goes, yeah, but how often does a market crash? And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go, dude.
Not often.
Yeah,
Never.
but this is, you don't have to wait for the market to crash. This is what I texted Max. You have to wait for an event. And this is an event and could possibly create a lot of buying opportunities. If the bond yields keep rising and inflation is, 3% or whatever, the economy keeps opening up and the tech stocks keep falling, it could open up some buying opportunities. Some stocks could go on sale. And the market didn't crash. Something just happened. You know what I mean? An event happened that created a buying opportunity. For example, Logan, NEO, like you said, went down to like $30-something. That's so...
I think a lot of these were buying opportunities in the past 2 weeks.
Did you buy more? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go.
No, I didn't, but I will.
There you go.
It's still on sale.
Well,
it's still like $40. It's literally only gone up $4 since it was at its lowest, something like that.
I think a lot of these, they were kind of, like you said, it was just kind of like a pullback, and possible buying opportunities for some of them. Like you said, like some of them went on sale. Technically, now that this happened. Possibly. Like
some of them, I wouldn't say some of them went on sale, but if this continues, some could go on sale.
Well, Amazon,
but like I said, it all depends. It all depends on the yield you're looking for. This is what I showed Mike in the. So with Phil Town, that's the guy who I follow. He has some investing calculators and he has a website. If you plug in all the stuff and you put the rate of return you want, if it's something like 15, you're gonna have to buy at a low price. But if you want 5% rate of return, there's a lot of companies technically on sale with that rate of return. Do you see what I'm saying?
It just depends on how much money you're trying to make.
Yeah, the value triples if you go from 15% to 5%, you know what I mean? Like it just skyrockets.
And that's what Mike was saying. What I didn't understand what he was saying is like, what is your goal in investing in this company? But now that makes sense. Like if you're looking for a specific rate of return, then your buy-in price would be different. It would kind of move. The higher return, the lower it'd have to be, and the lower return, the higher the stock price would be.
And that's why all these,
like makes sense now. It's only taking
all these
12 episodes.
All these tech stocks,
no hard feelings,
are so expensive because they just kept buying them. But they were just fine with a.
But how often does the market crash?
He's got a point, dude.
And then Max followed up with, yeah, but Warren Buffett started off with like millions of dollars.
He did, that motherfucker.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. Warren Buffett is a motherfucker.
Cheater.
He cheated the system.
Cheater.
He bought his first stock when he was 11, which is illegal. He should go to jail.
That's a lazy argument.
He should go to. That's what I'm saying. He should go to jail. That's
Do you know how much he actually started with though? Like his first company. Him and 7 investors put together $100,000. That's how much he started with.
That's
100,000 2020 or 100,000 1911.
1950.
Not that old.
That's true. The dollar has been.
Back then, that was probably
Warren Buffett is not that
old.
No,
it was not a couple mil, dude. No chance.
Yes, it will. 100.
Yeah, but
grand.
Him and 7 other people put that together. It wasn't 100 grand from
collective.
Him. So he didn't start off with a lot of money.
About $5.
At 11 years old.
And Max, Phil Town was making $4 grand a year as a river guide. He didn't start off with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So suck a dick.
Well, $4 grand must be nice to be in the old bank account right now. Good to have a college student. Like, just piss away money.
Speaking of that, I do want to get on this. I think that something with the stimulus, they should have included all college kids get a check.
It's bull.
That's
bro,
crazy.
Don't even get me started on that.
I think
my parents claim me.
Yeah,
my parents claim me. Pay more taxes for me. Don't help me out in college. Like obviously they'll like, I don't know, give me a little money here and there, but I pay everything for college, and then I don't get a stimulus on top of that.
I mean,
it depends on what the point of the stimulus is. If they wanted to just go, they just want to go straight back into the economy. A college kid is the best person to give it to. It'll go to the bars. The bars will be
exactly
lit up, bro.
Exactly.
Uber Eats would skyrocket. Be a lot of good stuff.
I mean, I'm just, yeah, because the whole point of a stimulus check is to put the money back into the economy, and that's not like really happening right now.
Yeah.
37% of everyone that's getting a stimulus check is gonna put a majority of that check into stocks.
Yeah, I heard it was like upwards of like the amount, the stimulus check. It was like upwards of like 50% was going into stocks.
Every time, every episode, I have to play.
How many checks are they giving out? Is it just one?
Like third, I think.
This is a 4.
No, I mean like
4th.
I mean like for how many months? Like is it just going to be a 1 month, one-time check?
It's one-time
like
check.
Any other stimulus check, yeah, just comes.
The one that you're thinking about is the unemployment shit that they did. And they give you like.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Ridiculous amount every week or whatever.
Okay. So let's put this back into perspective. We are all college kids, and therefore, if we got the money, we would put it in the economy.
I'd put it in stocks.
There are some people who can't feed themselves right now, nor can they afford their rent. I think that's the point of the stimulus.
You're right.
I couldn't afford
it. Never afford my rent.
You can't individually, but because you're a dependent and your parents take care of you, you can.
Shout out, Dad.
They don't though. My parents are giving me this much money for rent.
You can still afford it though.
Sorry,
those guys.
Looks like you need to talk to Ms. Kim and Mr. Sean about that one.
In the emergency case, they will help you. These people who really need the stimulus, they don't have those safety nets. They don't have those safety nets. This stimulus is their safety net. So keep that in mind.
Some people do use it. Some people do use it, but like that survey said, not the majority, but a lot of it. A lot of people that are getting it they're not spending money.
So did you state the statistics of the survey already, or did you kind of just give an overview?
No, I read the article. There was 37% of all the people who are getting a check will put it into equities.
Cool.
And
what about the 63% that's left over?
I know. I understand that. That's why I didn't say the majority. I said a lot of them, though. That's a lot. It is a lot of people. And they came up with the number $170 billion will be pumped into the market just from this stimulus.
We love
check.
to hear that, actually. This is amazing.
Yeah!
I love that.
But will the tech stocks or will the value stocks
tech,
rise?
bro.
Which one?
People are too dumb.
Both.
Like,
GME.
Everything.
Just GME. Only GME. It's going to get
They
pumped.
saw Apple
Trust
just dropped 15% this past week, and they don't care about the valuation of it. They're going to see that it dropped 15% in the month and buy it. That's my prediction.
I want to know.
I think everything
Max,
goes
I want to
up.
know what everyone is in. I think this would be cool. We should do this like every episode. Just go over a portfolio check. Portfolio update. We're gonna start with Max. Max, what are you in right now? Other than IVR.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Okay, Logan, what are you in right now?
I gotta pull it up.
I'm in Neo, Tattooed Chef, Mr. Dilio's IVR call, Mr. Dilio's Ethereum Classic call. Yeah, I gotta grind it out.
It'll come back up. What did you buy at? 17?
17 something, and it's been at 12, 13, 5 for as long as I can remember.
That's okay.
I think that's the majority of it.
No other stocks?
Majority
Like
in
stock
Neo and
stocks?
Tattooed Chef. No.
Huh.
Neo, Tattooed Chef.
Interesting. I diversified a lot since we last spoke.
All right, Mike, let's hear it.
No.
Airbnb, Square, Lyft, eBay, and I think those are the main ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
IVR?
Yeah.
And then I'm in that IVR call, which, I'm waiting on that for June.
Balls deep in that one, dude.
How's it treating you,
Sorry?
Mike?
What's your heaviest position, Mike? Is it Square?
Yes.
Square.
It is.
Max, have you seen
How
yours?
much?
Yeah.
Tell me. Exact dollar amount.
I can't disclose that.
Good guy. That was the test.
In my Robinhood, it's different than my Roth IRA. I can't remember what I'm in my Roth. I think I'm in Square, an ETF that tracks like Apple and like a bunch of other big name tech
Yeah,
stocks.
you showed me that one.
And one more, and I can't. It's another like tech related type thing.
Jared, did you ever start your Roth?
I have it. I have two accounts on TD Ameritrade, but I'll go over that after Max.
Yeah. So I was in DoorDash temporarily, but then I realized that I saw their history and like the fact that their IPO skyrocketed and then they dipped and then they went up again, and I wasn't very comfortable staying in them, even as the opening was happening of the restaurants and stuff. In fact, that might actually decrease their business because not many people are going to have to rely on ordering food from their phone anymore. They're going to want to go to restaurants. So that logic sort of pushed me to get out, break even out of DoorDash, and then reinvest that money into Square, which once the businesses start booming again, the payments will come in nicely.
After Max goes, tell me why you're so big on Square.
I will. And then
you can go right now.
Most of these plays are pandemic, like when the economy reopened type plays. So like Lyft, for example, when people start ordering more rides and people start going places more often, that's hopefully going to come within maybe the summer or the fall. We don't know yet for sure, but most of those plays were that. And then I got into eBay because I saw Jared's evaluation of it, and I was like, all right, that's a pretty decent long-term play. I'm going to reinvest the money I have over here and just put it into eBay. It's a good, solid play.
So talk about Square, like what Logan asked, real quick.
So
it is a young company. We went over the financials yesterday.
Jared and I went over the financials, which essentially means we looked up their stats and plugged all their numbers into these calculators on Philtown's website to see what sort of value they have and whether or not they're worth it. The reason I'm so big on Square is because when the small businesses start coming back, like I don't know if you realize how much those businesses rely on Square. A very similar company is like Shopify. So Shopify, they pretty much make it almost seamless for small businesses to actually get going and start getting paid. And they're doing a fantastic job with that. And they've managed to do a really great job with that. And that's why their stock price is valued at like $1,000 almost from like 40. It started off Shopify. It's a Canadian company that they allow you to sell products through their platform and watch analytics. And so small businesses can get started with that like almost quickly. Max, your mom used it to sell her personal stuff.
Her necklaces, yeah.
Her necklaces. So there you go, small business right from her
I think
her
she
house.
still uses it through that. And
exactly. Yeah. So in the same vein, Square allows small businesses to accept payments that would otherwise be more complicated for, let's say, the average person to set up. And they support a lot of small businesses as well in the same way that Shopify does, which is why I think they're a super cool company to invest in. And also financial. I mean, they support a lot of financial transactions, and the economy is going to start reopening very, very soon. So as the economy goes up, Square generally goes up because more payments are going through, people are spending more money. And it's probably one of the... I don't have a personal attachment to it, but I think the fact that they support the small businesses is a huge thing for me. Just as a personal touch. If you want to add some personal sort of value to the stock, I would say that's a huge one as well. Same thing with eBay. eBay is really greatly valued, right? But also they help people like sell things super easily.
It boomed in the pandemic, to be honest. Like that was,
and it's super useful.
Like a lot of people, I don't know if that's just because we were using eBay a lot, but I feel like eBay and Facebook Marketplace it was a decent place to make some money because everyone was out of work.
Also, Square is owned by Jack Dorsey, and he seems to have a pretty decent head on his shoulders.
He just sold his NFT for like 2.5 million or some shit.
His first tweet ever
was an NFT, and he just sold it for literally.
And
I still don't get that. I still really don't fully get that concept.
It's just people like value
merch.
Sold his
like
it's
it
limited.
Is.
Just think of it like Nike sneakers. Like it's in a lifetime Nike sneakers, limited edition.
Can't wear or touch.
Yeah, that's what
Why doesn't someone just go to his tweet and screenshot it?
See, Logan, we went over this.
Ownership.
Your ownership
I know,
is
still so
blockchain.
So he created an ownership for it then.
Yeah,
basically.
He
he created a fake ownership for
Not
this.
fake. A cryptographically signed ownership that proves that he is the owner of that tweet. And then whoever he sells it to...
Yeah, by fake, I mean he gave it the value.
Basically.
Like, he's the one who gave it the value. There was no value until he said, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a tweet.
He turned it into an NFT. Yeah, and then people derived value from it because it's Jack Dorsey. It's the first tweet ever. It's... Just like anyone would value a baseball card or a rookie of the year card for a basketball player, for example. Same idea, like with trading cards.
Yeah, it's literally trading cards. That's literally what it is. Like they're a damn piece of cardboard paper.
Right, Pokemon.
You know what I'm saying?
One Charizard will go for $500,000.
It's all about like niche things. Like people like cards, or people like cars, or people like this, that, and the other thing. Like shoes. People just value different things for different reasons. I guess that's really why.
So weird.
It's just like stocks.
Such a weird idea,
stocks.
right?
It's just what.
Yeah, we never touch that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we never actually see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna sell cards of myself for 1 cent.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, Mike.
And I'm gonna sell 1 million.
One thing that we did see in the financials of Square was because they're such a young company, their earnings per share isn't really growing. Because they're spending all of their earnings,
which is totally typical,
into the company.
It's totally typical.
That's really important with young businesses. Yeah,
that sounds like a long-term play. What?
Yeah, hold on. Before we move on, I think a big problem with Square is it is really expensive, but this is the same thing with Tesla. I think it's trading at what it should be trading at 5 years from now. That's what I think. So that's what the problem is with Square and Tesla. They're trading at what they probably should be trading at, in the future. Problem is they're trading at that right now. So that's where it gets tricky with some of those tech companies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Max, what's in your port?
In my Roth IRA, it's Apple, Square, and that tech whatever ETF is XLK. I can't look at it right now to see exactly what it holds. I have a picture of it, but it's a lot of I think Square's in there. I think Apple's in there, or I know Square and Apple are in there, and it's like a bunch of other big time tech companies. In Robinhood, Amazon Spread, XL Call, IVR Call, GameStop, Palantir, and ARK. I like ARK. I like that Kathy Wood girl. She seems
she pretty much goes into.
She's on it.
She's pretty much like how a lot of the young investors are.
Yeah, but
she likes those.
Yeah, right. And I like what she talks about. I like her kind of mentality. And if I'm not mistaken, she's like the owner, like creator type of ARK. Is she not? Or like all those kind of ETFs. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of like.
Her, yeah.
It's like ARK, sure. And then this is ARK with 2 Ks, but like there's ARK and then like a different letter. Like there's a bunch of different ones that are different sectors or focus on different stocks and equities. This one focuses mainly on like technology. But yeah, those are my positions.
The only thing I will say about an ETF is you're gonna get the return of, well, I guess not really like an index fund. With an index fund, you're gonna get the return of the index. I guess with an ETF, if those stocks perform better than the index, then you will be the index.
Right, exactly. Like they have in the past, like the Apples.
Yeah.
And the Square's been doing what,
ETFs are probably better than index funds.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's whatever.
So maybe a good question to end on is if all these
what
stocks
about
are
my portfolio?
Oh, yeah, Jared,
yeah. We haven't even
Sorry,
gotten
bud.
Probably just eBay.
No. I was actually up a good amount, knock on wood, this week. So I was in General Motors. I love GM. I love General Motors. They boomed today. They opened up at like 55 and they ended up at 59 something. Damn. They went nuts today. And I did a lot of research last night. I swear to God, I was up to like 2, 3 a.m. last night just looking at a lot of these cyclical stocks. So I looked at Goldman Sachs. I looked at Morgan Stanley. I looked at Southwest Airlines. I looked at all the airlines.
Southwest is doing very
well.
well.
I have...
It's weird, though.
So I had a call in GM today. I sold at close because that thing was up like 6%, and I don't think it's going to stay up. And if it does, then fuck me. I bought a call for April 16th, Morgan Stanley. And Morgan Stanley is an investment bank. It's one of the biggest ones. And then Southwest, bought a call for April 16th, Southwest Airlines. And then April 16th, eBay call. Yeah. I'm not very... I actually trimmed my eBay position today. I had 5 contracts and I trimmed it down to 3 because I don't know how I just don't feel comfortable. Like with these cyclical stocks, I feel very comfortable because I know they're going to perform better as the economy reopens. But with eBay, like you said, Logan, even though it's undervalued, it's in the NASDAQ. So if that gets shit on, then eBay will get, it'll get hit as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I texted it the other day, but Jared, you said something like the financials are one of the only sectors that hasn't recovered from this. Everything else is either above or approaching where they were pre-COVID. But financials have been, I think, one of, if not the only that hasn't recovered. I think long-term banks, financial companies, and I want to look into airlines for like a end of summer type call or something like that.
Just so you know, I put this in the Discord, and if you guys are listening, join the Discord. I put this in the Discord, and I did all this research last night because I was so curious. Southwest is by far the most financially sound airline there is, and a big difference between them and like a Delta or United, they're focused on leisure instead of business travel. And this summer, there's going to be a lot of leisure. There's going to be, Ohio,
the everyday,
Florida,
the
Georgia,
everyday
Florida.
person.
Well, Jim Cramer tweeted a couple days ago that basically, like, a lot of the comments were bashing Southwest. He was like, a lot of people were like multiple people commented, "My business doesn't allow us to fly Southwest," and I didn't know.
If you're looking for size, Delta's the biggest.
Yeah, business is Delta, but I didn't realize that Southwest was more focused on leisure. And I would probably say
that's super important to understand. That's why you have to look into a company and just not just buy it, because that would have been if, for example, if Delta was more leisure, I would have bought Delta.
Right.
But I just don't think business. I don't think business travel is going to be as much as people think, because now there's Zoom. You don't have to travel.
It's gonna die, or slowly die.
But leisure, I put this in the Discord. People did not get the chance to travel last summer, so what the hell do you think they're going to do this summer?
Oh, yeah, it's going to go crazy.
Yeah. So Southwest, exactly. Yeah, Mike, me, and hopefully I can come down.
The president said, Biden said, July 4th, things He like expedited the timeline. He said July 4th, everything should be open. He's like, that's what they're planning on. It's going to be completely open.
He also said that by May 1st, he wants every state to make every adult eligible, no matter the age, for the vaccine. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get the vaccine, some people don't, but I'll get that shit in my arm. I don't want COVID. But yeah, those are my plays. I got Morgan Stanley, and I kind of want to buy shares as well, because a lot of the investment banks are undervalued, and it's a cool thing to look at their financials. We'll get in that another episode. And Berkshire Hathaway B, I want to buy into that as well.
Question before we wrap up. A versus B class, like all these different classes of stocks, are they lesser valued because for some other reason, like they're lower priced? Why?
Yeah, I don't.
Is my question.
Well, it's because Berkshire A is $400,000 a share.
Yeah, but why are there different classes? So that
just to make it more affordable. Instead of I think it's just instead of splitting a stock. Because Warren Buffett doesn't like adding shares. He likes buying back shares to make your ownership greater. Instead of just splitting a stock.
Cool.
Just create a new class of shares. That's what I think. I'm not entirely sure. I hope I'm right, though. But it sounds right.
You convinced me.
Yeah, it sounds right. But Berkshire B,
sounds very
I actually
logical.
did an evaluation on them. Last night, they'd be a good buy. That's all I'm going to say. They'd be a good buy right now.
Or the other one?
Huh?
400K or the other
What's
one?
the class
No,
B price?
B. Well, both. I didn't do I mean, for example, the $400,000 one, their earnings per share is like $27,000 a share. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's all right.
Yeah, but no, B. I would buy B. I would buy B.
It's not like I can buy a house with that or something.
Right. I think most people would rather buy B.
Alrighty. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you really want to see more of our content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well so you get push notifications whenever we upload. Also, if you're listening on audio, make sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out and let us know you are listening. Finally, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and hop on our Discord server so you can come chat with us, ask us questions. We'd really love to talk to you. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Talk to you later. Peace.